Hello and welcome to our 65th session wherein we are going to actually discuss about the production pipeline. Have you ever been completely lost in a video game or maybe a VR experience and just thought to yourself, how in the world did they build this? These incredible digital worlds, they don't just magically appear. Nope, they are the result of a really detailed, structured and surprisingly creative process. So how are they built? It's a fantastic question. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain and actually walk you through the roadmap. The one that transforms a simple idea into a full-blown real-time experience. So, let's get started. Okay, so everything, and I mean everything starts right here with what we call the real-time production cycle. Just think of it like the master blueprint for the whole project. You have got pre-production, that's where the ideas are born. Then there's production, which is where all the actual building happens, and finally post-production. So all the tweaks and polish. But look closely how they overlap. Design isn't just one stack. It's more like a thread that's woven through the entire journey. Alright, so we have got our map in hand. Our production journey can officially kick off. And the number one rule of any big journey, especially with a huge team, is making sure everybody is moving in the same direction. That is exactly where pipeline management comes in. This is the super critical process of managing the flow of work between all the different teams, artists, programmers, sound designers, you name it. It's what makes sure that when the art team finishes, say a 3D model, the mechanics team is ready to jump in and make it move. It's really the secret sauce that keeps this massive complex project running smoothly. Now, before a single line of code gets written, before even one pixel is drawn, some of the most important work has to happen. This is where we lay the foundation, turning a kind of a vague concept into sharp, actionable insight. It all starts with a spark, right? The core idea. Maybe you are trying to solve a problem, or you just have a high-level concept for a game. Then it's homework time. You have to do deep research into the market, what competitors are doing, and most importantly, who your potential users are. All that research then gets boiled down into what we call user personas. And user personas are absolutely crucial. They are not just fun little stories. These are fictional, but totally data-driven profiles of your perfect user. You know, you ask questions like, is she a super competitive gamer? Or is he a more casual player? Or just wants to relax? From this point on, every single design decision gets checked against these personas. It keeps the entire team focused on building for the right audience. This quote right here, it really captures the golden rule of this whole process. It's not about what the developer thinks is cool. It's about what the user actually needs and what they want. This user-centric focus is what separates the good experiences from the truly great one. So let's see how this all builds into the next phase. Now that we have this deep understanding of our user, it's time to translate all of that research into the very first tangible blueprints of the experience. First up, the initial idea or the brief gets refined with everything we just learned from our research. Then the creative floodgates really open up with all sorts of preliminary designs, and finally you take those designs and build a prototype, a really basic but functional version of the experience that you can actually start to interact with. And preliminary design can mean a lot of different things. It could be a simple sketch on a napkin or a super complex schematic. It could be a flow map of the user's journey or wireframes for the user interface. Or it could even be beautiful concept art that sets the whole look and feel. The whole point is to explore all the possibilities before you commit to the full expensive build. Okay, once a prototype gets the green light, we enter what is truly the heart of modern development. It's not a straight line. It's the dynamic cyclical process that is all about constant improvement. And it's so important to get this in your head. Stop thinking about creation as a linear path from point A to point B. The reality is way more interesting. It's a continuous loop of improvement, and this is that loop. You design a feature, you build a version of it, you test it like a crazy guy, then you evaluate all the feedback, what worked, what didn't, and then you refine the design based on everything you learned. And then you do it all over again. This iterative cycle, this is how good ideas become great products. Now, while that loop is a core principle, teams can choose different high-level strategies or paths for their journey. The two most common ones you will hear about are called Waterfall and Agile. So the Waterfall approach is very linear and pretty rigid. Each stage has to be 100% complete before the next one can begin. And once a decision is made, it's really hard to go back and change it. Agile, on the other hand, is built for that loop we were just talking about. It's iterative, it's flexible, and it's designed from the ground up to adapt to new discoveries and changing needs along the way. But in practice, it's rarely so black and white. A lot of teams end up using a hybrid approach where they kind of take the best of both the worlds. They might use a more linear waterfall style process for the initial planning phase, but then switch over to a flexible agile loop for the actual building and testing. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that the most complex, most awe-inspiring digital worlds are not built on chaos or some kind of magic, but they are built on a clear, deliberate, and user-focused process that turns that little spark of an idea into a tangible reality you can experience. The whole process is a guide. It's a map that can give structure to pretty much any creative project. It's an incredibly powerful tool set for building anything you can imagine. So the only real question left is, now that you have the map, what you are going to create.